So now that we've done the main rays, let's just create a copy of all of this. So what I'll do is I'll actually select this. Let me gain a bit more room here. And I'll Alt, click and drag to create a copy. And here I'm just going to switch the input to be not the rays main, but the rays sec. Okay, this is going to give us this result. So this is what we had. And this is the combination that we have. I'm going to be adjusting this a bit, so it's not exactly the same. I'm going to actually apply the secondary rays first, so that the main rays can go on top of them. So let's just switch this input here. Okay, but as you can see, it's already working, but I want to see the final result. And I don't want the secondary rays to be as bright as the main rays, not as, and the blur should be also less, so they're not as thick. So let's keep going with this. So here, regarding the first, so this is what I'm going with, okay. And regarding the first value scale, let's bring this to half on all of them. Here, let's go, I'm gonna half everything to, and here on this one, I'm also gonna half the blur, and the HSV, I'm gonna leave it. But let's see how this looks. Still pretty strong. Might keep pushing this down. Let's see here, maybe 8 on this blur. Yep. On this HSV, maybe 1. Okay, so there's a better hierarchy between these. I think this worked better. Yeah. And maybe not use the color correct on this. So this was giving it the red tint. I just want the red tint on the very strong rays, so I'm not going to use that. You can bypass it or just delete it. I'm actually going to delete this. Make it simpler. Cool, so now we have those two passes. We have the, let me just change the name, adding sec ray, secondary rays, adding the main rays. Let's rearrange this bit. And remember, we also have, like we have the main rays lighting, we also have the secondary rays lighting. And for that, we could just replicate pretty much everything here. Okay, we can just copy this. And the difference is going to be that here we're going to be loading up the secondary rays lighting, except, which is different. We'll have the diffuse, and the difference, so we'll use the same strategy here, but instead of doing it twice, we're just going to be adding both the diffuse and adding both the reflections, and then we have the separate work here. So easier to do it, and then it should be clearer. So what I'm saying is that we're going to add this diffuse, this one, and this one. We're going to add both of them together, again with an add. Okay, so now we have both, and this is what goes into this multiply. And regarding the, and we'll just do the same thing for the reflection. So here, use this, and that reflection, and this is what's going to go into the final part. Okay, and now we should have the reflection for everything. And again, we still have individual control over, so this will be the main ray section, this will be the secondary ray section, and we have individual control. So for the secondary rays, I'm going to leave the value scale at 16, but for the main ray, I think maybe 20 would be a better option, just so it kind of matches better. Might be too much, maybe 16. Just going to lower the other one to 12, something like that. Okay, we'll fine tune this at the end. but we have the whole thing set. Now, how about the sparks? So the sparks is exactly the same thing, okay? Pretty much the same thing. So for the sparks, we can even copy this again. I'm gonna create another copy of this. I'm gonna make sure that the output of this goes here. Nope, not that. This goes there. And I'm gonna change the name, of course, so adding sparks. Let's select sparks. Nice. We're gonna have to do a few adjustments here. I'm not gonna be using this color correct. And we're gonna do some adjustments here, of course. So let's start with that. Let's have a look at the final results. So on this blur, we'll do just 2. On the HSV, let's keep the saturation lower. And regarding the intensity, maybe less, maybe 1 for now. And on the second pass of blur, let's say we add a bit more, a bit less, maybe 32. And we'll also use an HSV with a lower saturation, but not as low, maybe 0.8. And here maybe 0.5. I still want the rays to seem brighter than that. Okay, so it's a matter of playing with this now. Maybe this is a bit too strong. Yeah. I think this looks better. Maybe here a bit more. We have 2. Maybe you can add a bit more density this way. And here maybe a bit more. Okay. 0.8. But again, we don't have any reflections or lighting on the surface of Iron Man in regards to the sparks, and we need to take care of that. So same thing. I'm gonna copy this using Alt. The difference is that I'm going to be loading the sparks, lighting, okay. And on the layer, you can actually combine more than one, okay. So let's grab this, put it here, okay. You saw the way it lit. And regarding the reflection, same thing. So we grab the reflection, we add it as well. Okay, so now we have. I don't want to push for the reflection strength. This reflection is a bit too strong, the value, so I want it to be quite less than the actual lighting, the thunders. The rays should be stronger. Let's go back to the final result. Yeah, but this is getting along well. So now we have the reflection, we have the lighting contribution of this. The same way as we are scaling the reflections, we can also scale the diffuse component. Let me just grab this and pull this up. Okay, so we have this HSV, which is scaling the values for the reflection, and we can use the same thing for the diffuse. Okay, so if you think it's not bright enough, you can just add an HSV here and do the same thing. So I'm just focusing on the main rays for now, just using the main rays to kind of control how much light we have there, but you can clearly see the difference between having this and having this. Maybe I don't even need to desaturate it, maybe. Let's say 16. You can clearly see the light coming from the main rays and all that stuff. So this is the total light that we're adding to the scene to get this kind of reaction. And we get the final composition here. Okay, the lighting is a bit too strong. I'm gonna go back here and maybe put it at 8 again, just so it's not as strong. And that's it. Let's see, 0.89. No, not much of a difference. Now what's left? So we took care of secondary rays and sparks, both on the lighting and reflection over Iron Man and on the effects themselves. And we got this result. Now, next we'll move on to kind of start wrapping the things up, adding the smoke and wrapping things up.